Back again, Commish Radio Show. Back again for another Saturday in the Commish Nation Network, the real CNN. And you know what? We have to lower this camera angle down just a little bit, you know, because you got me like a little midget, man. I'm 6'2". Man, you know, I want everybody to know, because I was greeting somebody the other day, and they was going like, man, you're a lot taller than what I thought you were. And that's probably because of the camera angles that we have here. I think we got a great camera angle now. I like to say this radio show is the best radio show from Como to the Congo. And if you are in Fort Worth like I was earlier today, you should know where Como's at. And if you're part of the world, which clearly you are, because you're listening and looking at this on FBRN.us. Is it FBRN.us?
Yes.
That's right. .us, United States, as I've said. This radio show is the best radio show from Como to the Congo. So, man, what an exciting day. You know, you got this this deal here that I just wanted to say as well, that people have been looking at this platform on Facebook, but I want you to also look at the other platforms, Ed Grade 1906 on Twitter, Ed Grade 1906 on Instagram as well, and also, you know, tune into the companion pages, and we'll talk about those, which is the Ed Grade political page, and also the Ed Grade historical page. So today, we're going to be talking about history. And that being said, I'd like to send a shout out to the people of the Tarrant County Coalition. And I have the program here. I had it here somewhere, but I don't have it here. And it was regarding the Fred Rouse lynching that occurred. So I don't have that program here with me. I got every other program except the program that was regarding the Fred Rouse lynching. So I just have to talk off the top of my head, which isn't unusual because I do a lot of that. But we're going to talk about the Equal Justice Initiative. They were here in town. If you have been following the page, which you clearly have, you just scroll on down. We have some more information as well. And you'll be able to see the highlights of the program in which we commemorated Fred Rouse's lynching that occurred on December the 11th, 1921. Today's date. 100 years ago today, a man was lynched in Fort Worth, Texas. Now I know you're probably saying, wow, didn't you just talk about that? No, I didn't just talk about that, because the last time that I talked about a lynching that occurred in Dallas, Texas. That was with Alan Brooks. I talked about the Alan Brooks lynching. And when I talked about that, I talked about that lynching because that had occurred in downtown Dallas. 5,000 people saw Mr. Brooks lynched. 5,000 people saw him lynched from a arch pole right in the heart of downtown Dallas. Well, Dallas and Fort Worth always compete, as you know, and you know, at the time that Alan Brooks was lynched, Dallas was emerging as a cosmopolitan city. It had the largest Klan chapter in the United States at that time. The largest Klan chapter was in Dallas, Texas. And they would have had more, except that, well, Oak Cliff wanted to be, well, Oak Cliff, that's my hood. I had new terminology for it. Had different terminology back then, because then when they said Oak Cliff, that's my hood, they was referring to Ku Klux Klan hoods, because Oak Cliff, not to be outdone by the city of Dallas, had its own Klan chapter too. So you had the Oak Cliff Klan chapter and you had the Dallas Klan chapter, you know. Go figure. competing chapters. But Dallas versus Fort Worth had their own Klan chapter too. And that Klan chapter was the second largest Klan chapter in the United States of America. So now what we have here, folks, we have a history of racial injustice. There we go. A history of racial injustice in America, which meant that the largest Klan chapters were right here in Texas, not Mississippi, not Alabama, not Georgia, but right here in the state of Texas, in the Metroplex. The largest Klan chapter was right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Wow. Disheartening, I know. I know it's disheartening. And during this time in which people talk about critical race theory, you know, as if that actually exists, that you're teaching critical race theory. You're teaching critical race theory. No one's not teaching critical race theory. You know, critical race theory is something that's taught in law school. And our kids, as smart as they are, they're not taught critical race theory nowhere in the state of Texas. But my erstwhile Republican friends have decided that that is what they're going to hang their hat on. Well, if that's the case, they're going to hang their hat on that, then I got a hat too. I want to hang it on something too. I bet you the next thing they're going to do, once they talk about critical race theory, is setting us up for the okie doke. And the okie doke will be, they're going to take away Black History Month in schools. Yep, I said it. Now I know someone say, oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. Well, if you can say critical race theory, then certainly I should be able to say this. But that's how I'm opening the show up. I want to hit hard on that because that's what I believe is the overall objective, is to whitewash history. Play on words, play on words, play on words. Whitewash history to the fact that we don't know our own history and we become doomed to repeat it. Now, we're going to put this mic down lower the next time around. Remember, we weren't supposed to do that. But what we want to go ahead and say as well is that if the Jewish community, I know someone's going to start saying, you talk about Jews. I'm not. I'm not. But the Jewish community has a saying that says never again, which is a holistic view of the Holocaust, which says basically never again will this happen. So we are taught that this will never happen again when it happened in Europe. It didn't happen here in the United States. We've suffered our own. We should say never again as well. And that means never letting someone forget what has occurred. And that's the reason why I, as a member and leader of the Dallas County Justice Initiative, which is a sub-branch of the Equal Justice Initiative that's housed out of Montgomery, Alabama. That's why I've made it my year mission this year to go forth and promote the installation of historical markers that can commemorate the atrocities that existed and still do, can you say Ahmaud Arbery, in America today. So that's the reason why this show is here. This show's here for that. I do that, and I just got through paying for the rest of the year for shows here, so I could be able to talk to you about these things that occur. But if you'd like to go ahead and contribute, we do take donations here so we can get this word out. And that's Cash App donation, Great Vision 2020. And when we come back, we will talk about Fred Rouse and the lynching of Fred Rouse, which follows last month's talk about the lynching of Alan Brooks. So, Jordan the Extraordinaire, let's play some local music so Facebook won't put us in Facebook jail. We own the rights to this music, and we'll come right back. Back again, Commish Radio Show, back again, talking about things that have occurred in these United States. As I've often said, the only thing united about these United States is the fact that these United States, well, it's the name of the country, united. It's nothing united about that. It's nothing united about that at all. Sending a shout out. I think we have some Tan Gamble music over there as well. So if we have some of that, if we could go ahead and play her music in there, we're going to put her music in the mix as well. I see that she's tuned in on the Commish Radio Show, and Gerald Bike is listening in as well. So hey, sending a shout out to my valet, doing a great job. Doing a great job. But now, what's doing a great job, we want to talk about, this calendar. This is a history of racial injustice. This is the 2022 calendar. Brand new, Equal Justice Initiative. Again, I am the leader of the Dallas County Justice Initiative, and I guess I can speak with authority saying that I'm the leader of that organization. And December 11th, and this is what we're going to do every week. We're going to talk about that because I'm a historian. I had this conversation with somebody before, and they said, well, what makes you an expert on the subject? I said, well, perhaps the master's degree I have on this. I mean, somehow they just don't give those things out. But, we are looking at history and seeing how things are historical. So let's go ahead and look at today's date. What is today's date? December the 11th. That was a pop quiz for you folks. Professors like to do that kind of thing. December 11th, 1917, December 11th, 1917. Meanwhile, down in Texas, I love to say that because that's what they normally say. When they say down in Texas, that normally means something's about to be messed up. Meanwhile, down in Texas, 13 black soldiers executed after the Houston, Texas police beat and shoot black troops, prompting 156 soldiers to revolt. You got that, folks? That happened in 1917. You know, they just got through fighting World War I, and, you know, they was proud, walking around, you know, with their guns and stuff. They didn't even allow black people to have guns, but these are soldiers, so they have guns. So they're walking around Houston and everything. Houston, that's the South, Houston. And it says 13, I'll read it again. 13 black soldiers executed after Houston, Texas police. Already, folks, there's something wrong with that. There's a division between United States military and civilians. But in this particular case, it didn't matter because they were just dealing with, I can't say the word, 13 black soldiers executed after Houston, Texas police beat and shoot black troops, prompting 156 soldiers to revolt. In all, 13 are hanged and 43 are sentenced to life in prison. That's justice in America. That's justice in America. Well, since I'm not going to be with you tomorrow, I want to go ahead and tell you December 12th, 1922, and then we'll go back to what happened on December 11th, 1921, which is 100 years, which is the reason why we're here today. Says over 1,000 white people, wait a minute, hold on. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep, 100, that's 100. You put a third one there, that's 1,000. Yep, that's what that is. Over 1,000 people killed Arthur Young in Taylor County, Florida, days after burning Charles Wright to death. Both black men were accused of murder and lynched without a trial. 1,000 people. That don't seem to be fair. Even one person doing it, but 1,000? Well, join the Equal Justice Initiative and also join the Dallas County Justice Initiative, and we'll go ahead and give you one of these. So you'll be able to go ahead and, you know, I'm not trying to get you critical race there. This is a calendar. Just a calendar. Just a calendar. Just saying what's going on in America. That's all it is. So, Equal Justice Initiative. We finished the Fred Rouse lynching. It was an excellent commemoration. It was a little cold out there, a little chilly, but we had clearly over 100 people that were there for that, and you would never believe that where it occurred at. It occurred at 1000 block of 12th Street. And it's like, man, I put my GPS on. I'm like, where am I going? I mean, you know, they said it was near downtown. It was downtown in the industrial district. And I was wondering, what did this place look like 100 years ago? So it had to probably been farmland or whatever. But they had in Fort Worth what they call a hanging tree. They call it the death tree. That's what they call it, the death tree. So obviously, more than Fred Rouse was there to be executed with this thing called lynching. Lynching in America. See, Equal Justice Initiative again. Lynching in America. Confronting the legacy of racial terror. 3rd edition by the Equal Justice Initiative. But in this particular situation, as I was driving to get there, it was like, where am I going? It's like, hell, I was scared trying to get there in the middle of the daytime, and nobody was after me. It's like, where am I going? So I pull up, and I see a large tent. In a large tent, I saw a lot of people there. And I said, well, this is the place to be. They waved me in, told me where to park at, and then I walked out, got out of my car, walked to the tent, started speaking, or they started speaking about Fred Rouse, and it was a great turnout again. The Congressman Mark Vesey was there. Two of the black, well, that would mean all of the black elected city council people was there. None of the white city council people showed up. I don't believe they showed up. That's unlike it was in Dallas. I'm not, saying Dallas is better than Fort Worth or anything like that, because I'm not. But I'm just making a mental note that in Dallas, we had a lot of participation from the white city councilmen and councilwomen that was there. Not only to mention the Dallas County judge was there, Clay Jenkins was there for the Allen Brooks lynching commemoration. But over in Fort Worth, it wasn't like that. So that being said, Fort Worth, you got to get your city council people to be on the same page. Perhaps they thought that was just a black thing and they didn't want to be involved in it. I don't know. But it's an American thing when we talk about lynching. It's an American thing, and we have to go ahead and address it. So in addressing it, we had a multi-racial contingent of people that were there. Little disturbing, but not surprising. Little disturbing, but not surprising, that the white elected officials in Fort Worth, it wasn't a large contingent of them. But, we're working on that. We're working on that. The Justice Initiative folks over in Tarrant County doing a great job. Great marker out there, great program. People can only come if they're interested in it, and a lot of people were there because they were definitely interested in it. Comparative. Talking about Allen Brooks commemoration and Fred Rouse commemoration, I was able, after the program in Dallas on the Allen Brooks commemoration, the family of Allen Brooks reached out to me, and I was able to talk to them. So I'll have them on my show at a later time. However, for this program with Fred Rouse, Mr. Fred Rouse, his family was there. Amongst his family was a grandson was there as well. Fred Rouse III was there as well. So, and if I'm not mistaken, one of his sons was there. So you had someone who had a direct connection. And a lot of times people say in history that happened, but it happened so long ago. Why are we even talking about it? Well, it happened so long ago that 100 years ago it occurred, but the man's relatives are still here walking around. So, if that means the man's relatives are here walking around, what does that mean to the perpetrators who killed him? And I'll talk to you about how they killed him in a minute. But what does that mean? That means they're still walking around too. Now, if we are all taught by our parents, loved ones, that we should forgive. Forgiveness is something that you're taught. Because it's human instinct not to forgive. It's human instinct to strike back. Somebody hits you, you hit them back. It's human instinct. Babies got that. That's why you tell a baby, no, don't hit. Don't hear it. Because you said, no, don't do that. So if that's being said, hate is also taught. So all those people who killed Alan Brooks, it was more than one. All those people who killed Mr. Fred Rouse, it was more than one. They have daughters, sons that were taught the same hate that they committed themselves. That's what it is. I've had the unique opportunity to talk to Fred Rouse III. I've had unique opportunities to talk to Botham Jean's mother. Unique opportunities to talk to Sandra Bland's mother. I've had that opportunity to talk to people who suffered this pain and this trauma. And realize that the pain and trauma that they suffer is not just something that you read out of a book and then turn the page. Because, see, I can turn the page of a book, but Fred Rouse III, his father was named after Fred Rouse the first, who was lynched. So every day his name is a reminder of a lynching. And that kind of reminds me before we go to break, because we're going to have our break at the 15-minute mark, is that how it must feel to be at a public event and know all the eyes are on you. As you talk about the pain or the pain is relived. Now, I saw that today. And it's a reminder of when I was seated next to, on two separate occasions, Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter. And I just watched from a table away just facial expressions to see if I could catch a facial expression as they were talking about her father. And realizing that the reason why they invited you for this dinner is that you have to relive for the whole entire dinner that your father was shot on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee. There's no other way around it. Or seated next to Adela Shabazz when they had the program, and I'm watching her watch another video of screams and shouts at the Audubon Ballroom. And the people, they did it as a not a mean gesture, but just of a historical nature, because historians do that. But the reality of seeing the expression on her face, you get kind of blank after a little while, I'm pretty sure, but just to see it again. So what I did after the program was over with, members of the Tarrant County Equal Justice Initiative affiliate introduced me to Fred Rouse III. And I brought that up. I said, I'd like to thank you, brother, for your powerful words, man. They were very powerful. But most of all, I'd like to tell you that I'm sorry that we're talking and we're meeting and we're talking about this subject. Because my pain is abstract. I could turn the page and that's it. His pain is there. His pain is there. That's the same pain that Sister King had, the same pain that Sister Shabazz had. That pain that said, I suffered a great loss. And he took the words in, and pain is very abstract if you're not experiencing it. You can always turn the page. But we never can turn the page on history, and that's the reason why we need organizations like the Equal Justice Initiative. Is to go and counter this vicious assault. Part 2. The first vicious assault was all these monuments went up to these Confederate traitors who were enslavers and also rebels against these United States. And then now we're having this attack upon history today that says black history doesn't matter, that says that Black History Month may be out of date. Of course, you had a black president. Why you need it? It says that Fred Rouse, where he was lynched at, where there was domestic terror, it doesn't need to be commemorated. But other people can say never forget. But when it comes to African Americans, it's said, forget about it. Something and somebody that says that happened so long ago. And I'm hearing and seeing people talk about what happened to our grandparents. We'll be right back.